All right. So we're here at the 2015 Blade Show, Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm showing off our new Deadlock OTF. We've been working on this for probably 6 years, off and on. We made the initial one about 6 years ago, had a few issues with it, so we put it to the side, and maybe 6 months ago we decided to start working on this again. The goal of this knife is to make an out the front that locks up completely solid. We've had a lot of out the fronts that we've played with, and just the sensory feedback of having a blade that's loose, even just opening a letter, you can feel the blade wiggling, and it just makes the knives feel cheap, even though they're usually fairly expensive. And so that was our main design goal on this, and to be able to do that, we had to completely reinvent everything inside. And so you have all the other out the fronts, and you have this knife. So the mechanism is just a total departure from everyone else's. This one in particular is heat color titanium, and then you can see we've engraved the name and the patent pending on this side, of course our name, and then on this side we have what model it is and then the prototype. So far we've made 14 prototypes. This is 12 of 14. So we have a heat-colored titanium core, carbon fiber overlays on both sides, heat-colored titanium button, Chad Nichols Damascus. I'm not exactly sure on the name of this pattern. I believe it's Intrepid, but there's too many names to remember everything. It also has our grip clip. This one is solid titanium machined. It has a compression spring underneath to give it the spring action. We've also inlaid little rubies, synthetic rubies, into the screw heads. Gives it a nice little touch to the screws. It also stops you from taking it apart and having springs fly across the room. We also, of course, we engraved our logo in here. I don't know if that's going to show up in the camera or not, but I really like engraving in the carbon fiber because the logo doesn't really just pop out until you get it in the right angle. Otherwise, it just kind of blends in when it's not directly on there. So I would really like that. So that's our out the front.
And you were talking about the shape of the button?
Yeah, and the button. So we spent a lot of time designing this button. We've probably came up with 100 different versions. Some of them very mechanical, and they moved and did a lot of stuff. But we were trying to find something other than the standard stair-stepped angle, because what happens is they put a lot of traction on it, but you still have to put downward pressure so that your thumb doesn't slip off. And so we found that having just a one step and having a ledge, your thumb has enough to grip there where you're not pushing down, it's all pull. Pushing forward, it's not so bad. Having a stair step there is okay, but coming back it's difficult for the thumb to keep traction. And so this button looks a lot different than other people's, but the function is really nice. We were building all these buttons, and we were still in development of the mechanism, so we were literally opening and closing. We'd switch hands, and our thumbs were just getting destroyed. And so we really focused on a button design that's both easy to manipulate and it won't destroy your thumb. Another nice thing about this button is that we made this platform fairly large, and that for two reasons. One is we like to cover up the slot, so it gives it a nice clean look. But the other reason is your thumb isn't rubbing or creating friction on the overlay, so it's setting on this whole pad here, and it moves with it. So that it's just kind of a nice little touch there.
That is something different, yeah. And it should be production about a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half, hopefully. We're working on them right now, and this is our main focus. But just to be safe, year and a half, sure. But yeah, and then the whole goal, the magic of this is that it locks up 100% solid. There's no play in any direction.
No blade wiggle.
Yes, and that was the original design goal. We had made one that worked fairly well before, but it still just had a little bit of play in it. And so we scrapped it, went back to the drawing board, and came up with this mechanism. And really the magic is inside. At some point I'll do a video where I do a takedown and I show exactly how the mechanism works and the principle and theories behind it. But for right now, we're keeping it a secret. So.
And I notice you have some interesting neck art.
Yes, and so this is a new design from Mantis. It's the second generation of the Cyclops. This one is the Vicious Circle now. And so the idea is it just looks like jewelry, but if you grab it and pull it off, you have a little self-defense hook there. And this one is, of course, stainless steel with carbon fiber inlays or overlays. The locking mechanism is quite a bit different now. So this is actually it's actually a lockback in a way, and you just push up on that to close it. And then once it's closed, the key inserts in and then snaps in. So now it's ready for deployment again. So the bail, as you pull it open, the bail pulls the blade open until it's locked, and then the bail disengages. And so these are new for the Blade Show 2015, and they're being made by Mantis Knives. This one's just a little sticky. Seems like all the ones I have are always the prototypes, the initial runs, but... So anyways, yeah, the new Vicious Circle.
All right, you and your dad are always working on some innovative stuff, and always a pleasure to see it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.